I know there's glitches all in this. Just can't help it. Just my old computer. I think when it sees me, click, kind of cracks. But anyways, this is a follow-up to my last one. It doesn't matter. I don't think it cares which way you go with it. Except, one tells you why it is that you can take the Bible and read it, in symbolic language and not take it at face value, This is the part that tells you, what's the beef, what do you get out of all of this, So, it's good for everyone to hear this part, and both parts. It's good for everyone to know, just to know things, You make up your own mind on it. But I try to bring things to you in some kind of fashion that's simple but still Bible-based, So today we're going to be going on to Matthew chapter 6, all right? And these are instructions. These are instructions from the Lord, all right? And there's a lot of really cool things. I'm going to try not to butcher it so much that you would stay around and listen, but maybe entertained, be entertained. But we're going right on to chapter 6, all right? Yes. Yeah, we're going to start off. Is that where we want to? Yeah, there's all these conversations in Matthew, like if the eye offends you, pluck it out. If the arm, they're still talking about, cutting off the flesh. It's better that you cut off this flesh than to, be denied this good side of you. But when it comes down to it, it says, let's see. Well, up on the top here, it even talks about the eye for an eye, and that's not about you poking someone else's eye out. This is about someone, if you're, like I was saying, if you've done something stupid's going to happen to you. It's about karma. All right, and so here we go. Let's go ahead on. It says, "Take heed, ye, that you take heed that ye do not your aims be for men," all right, or for the male side, "to be seen of them, otherwise you have no reward from the Father which is in heaven." All right. "Therefore, when thou thine alms," this is about alms, when you want to give of yourself, all right, you're not supposed to be like they give, out in the open where people can see you. You're not supposed to let the right hand know what the left hand is doing, if you understand, because you got to betray the left hand. That's how, if you can, you're supposed to be able to see in by now those people that have been following on these things. If not, you should be cluing in that this is, you say it's one thing, but you're supposed to, I know exactly what they're saying, all right? It says, and these are all Jesus saying, it says, and see, Jesus wants you to pray in secret. He says he doesn't want you to be like them. He calls them hypocrites. They're right out in the open. They want to be seen. They're in their pretty little garments. They're real pretty on the outside, but they're just rotten as shit on the inside. He wants you to do the cleaning on the inside, and he wants you to do it yourself in secret. And it's really funny, because on Ash Wednesday in most churches, They do a story where, you're supposed to do all this stuff in secret. This is where they're talking about and how to pray. All right, that's coming up soon. This is it. This is it right here. This is what church is built off of. And this is what you're supposed to do on your own. You're the church. All right. But it all says do all this in private. Whenever they anoint you and they put that little ash and put that ash, they're blotting out the single eye. And you run around with it all day long, so much for the privacy, It's like, it's so opposite of what they're even talking about in the Bible. So you have to understand religion is just the opposite. So, when you read the outside, and it's just kind of funny. All right, so it says, and down here, this is from Jesus, because it has a little asterisk. It says, and when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, and they love to be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they'll have their reward. And they do. They get paid for that. And everybody loves them. Everyone thinks the world of these people, and they're just saying normal, all everyday people, but they're what we call spotted sheep. They got no shit. They got nothing over you, and they're certainly not connected to God, and they're not leading you to Him either. So you look at them as like these little Pied Pipers. Those are the Pharisees, religious. Pharisees mean religious. All right, the religion, and the head Pharisees are the people that are the tops of them. Then you got the priests and the scribes, which are Bible teachers. All right, and the lawyers, not lawyers, the people that are lawyers. Lawyers are people that are law, that show the law. This is about the Bible. It isn't about outside law. It's about its law. So, anyways, but thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and then thou hast shut the door. Pray to the Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Alright? Into your own closet and shut the door. This is a meditation phrase. I'm sure I've already talked about it somewhere. And when they pray, now this is the Lord's Prayer coming up. Let's see if it's changed with the Mandela. Alright? Because I haven't read this in a while. It says, but when ye pray, use not vain repetition as the heathen do, for they think not that they shall blah 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 hear much. They like to hear themselves speaking. Like me, I don't. And I know. Oh, I hope you guys can put up with me, in some way that you don't need to listen to it. Well, I guess you do. You ain't got nothing. But not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye have need of. He knows what you want. He's inside of you, so he's kind of like, he's got his ear to you. He knows what you want and what you'll, before you even ask him. This is beautiful. So after his summer, after this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's head. It's doing chakras on the way down. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's the heart. Give us this day our daily bread. You can guess that one. Forgive us of our debts and debtors. Oh, well, they'll, that's the trespasses and trespassers. They're kind of the same, except that, we don't have anything to do with money. Money is of the left side, and trespassing is forgiveness. It's all about forgiveness, and that's the third chakra. If you cannot forgive, that third chakra will never open. And I have this beef with this one guy that's online that talks about being really spiritual, but he has this big thing about queers. He hates queers, and is just so afraid. And just to have any of those two things, to have being afraid, unknowing, and scared, and hate, there you are. You can't do it. You're gone. You're stuck. You're earthbound. You're earthbound. I call him a hypocrite, and you can't. Jesus called him. All right, so let's keep going. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Not to deliver us into temptation, but this is going into the lower chakra, and this is it. This is the root. They want to add more on there. I'm losing my light. We're getting some rainstorm show up. Give us this day our daily bread. Alright, so forgive men of their trespasses, moreover thee, blah, 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 crap. Okay, here's something from him. When I say crap, there's this is what he says. Or what everyone else is put in there, because the flagged ones are the ones that are supposedly from our teacher. Here's 116. Moreover, when ye fast. Okay, that's one of those words that we have to flip around. Be not as the hypocrites, as a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, which means they go skinny, by not eating, and to take from themselves is giving to God. And he's like, It's nuts. It says, lay not upon yourselves treasures upon earth, and this for man, la 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 la. Alright, so this is the tithing. Alright? You're tithing that 10% of you, that 10%, your whole brain is functioning all the time in a certain mode. It runs the whole body, but the part of your consciousness that actually does anything, that control anything, the only part that you have control over is 10%. That's it. You don't have control over your heart beating or anything like that. You may think I can stop it or stop breathing and shit, but no, it's on its own, no. That's the tithe that you give over to the Lord. That's, connecting the two together. All right, that's your 10%. All right, so here goes. For the light of the body, and this is the Mandela effect because it used to say lamp, not the light, but it kind of means the same, except that a lamp is something that you turn on, because it's not always on. You have to turn it on, so a lamp is something you turn on. All right, or prepared for something like oil or something, you have to do something. All right, but we'll read what it says. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body fills with thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Now, this is showing the two, because everything is a duality, and you can do anything you want. You can be good or bad. This is pretty much saying that, if your eye be evil, your eye is always going to really be, you're on the outside of things. It's the inside eye that's going to be the one that brings you to any kind of light. Because remember, God plays both sides. He is both good and evil. Alright? They're connected like the yin and yang, and they can't be separated. They are necessary evils to each other. And like a rubber band, they boing back and forth, and there's never a dull moment. And so that's really consciousness and life, and things, everything being repaid, for it's just a more interesting way to see it. And it doesn't take the God out of it so much as it takes the blood out of things. And when you learn that you're understanding this, you're understanding yourself and how you work, and nothing brings you closer to God than knowing yourself. And it's really simple. If you have to dig out from a whole lot of shit, man, it could be tough, because every time you close your eyes, these evil things pop in, and that's what people say. I keep seeing crazy stuff. So they bring the single eye as being like, this is the maker of evil. Well, the single eye isn't the creator of evil. The evil exists from the lower conscious only, and those are your thoughts of your mind that are keeping you from going over to this other side. And so, like a good housekeeper, these motherfuckers do not want you to go. And if that's your thing, you got to keep going. You got to go past them. You have to learn to be. You're in charge of them. You tell them to leave you alone. You get them out of your mind. You clear the house. This is when Jesus is coming into the temple, and he's scattering all, because they're selling animals and making of a slave. The idea is he cleans out these money changers. Those are all stories about. These are the thoughts. He's just clearing them out of his father's house. None of this stuff belongs in here. It's a wonderful little story. Let's see if there's any more to be said in this. All right. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. This is repeated 5 times, isn't it? Take no thought, take no thought, take no thought. The number 5 comes in here a bunch of times, about the 5 sparrows. and it goes to the 2 something into the 1. Well, see, the 5 is yours. You're losing the 5. You're losing your senses. You're taking 5. You're taking the 5 wounds, and you're dying. And the 2 and 1, actually, those are the, you're having a divine, and you're 1 and 2. You're actually, it's the joining. It's when something beautiful happens. It's the change. It's the snake is not supposed to be so scared. You're not supposed to be scared. Snake sheds its skin. It shows that you can transform. And so what you're really doing is even you're transforming your carnal mind, your carnal driven, dirty, filthy, bloody, nasty mind. And you're dragging it over into the beautiful world of the Lord, into the paradise. And when you come back with some of that on your feet and on you and stuff like that. And so it's a beautiful way of saying how to gain some energy and how to fight off what's around you. And this knowledge that comes to you, it comes to you in the form of a thief. That's, while you're up there, you're out of body, so to speak. You're out of your mind. And so you retain nothing of it. But when you come back into your mind, some wild things, the most beautiful things happen to you, And when people say you're getting it all wrong, well, listen, I wasn't born yesterday, and I didn't start doing all, what that guy who was doing all this, he was selling people hair transplants, and he was saying something, I'm not just a spokesman, I use the product, and he goes like this, I probably should start doing something like that too. That's something to pray for, huh? Hair. But there's other stories about that we can go into about bald head, how bald head symbolism comes into Christ and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. So those that have this little inkling of that I'm full of shit, fuck you. I don't care. The Bible tells me so. And these wonderful stories tell us so too. And you just have to, these are things no one ever talks on, because no one wants you to know any of this shit. So I'm finally saying that the Bible wasn't hiding it from us. It's the people who taught us how to read this damn thing that are hiding, that they got something up their sleeve. Alright? Well, anyways, happy travels. What was my best favorite teacher in the world? He always, and it's Phil Donahue. He says Delta is ready when you are. So, best to y'all, and I love you. Happy Sunday.